says yes. Duck, 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 duck says yes.
I don't want to switch accounts, you dodo.
I hope this goes streamy. I hope this goes to bigger than this box.
I like it, but I hate it.
Every time I go live, I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Surely you should be able to bring this up bigger
Every
than
time I turn
this.
it on, it automatically updates everything. And then you can't
No,
do nothing until
that didn't
all
do
the
it.
updates are done. Because it slows everything down so they just
Is that how big this goes? You'd have thought it went bigger than this. I would have thought it would go bigger than this.
What's your cup, my sunshine? Oh, you get Coke in it?
Aye.
Alright, here you go. What's your other one then?
What?
Your other cup?
Didn't have another cup.
You usually have two then.
No, I did not. Didn't have another cup. No, I did not.
I know, but what I mean is normally there's two in them. Two cups the same.
Everybody inviting.
make the plate bigger.
Send this link to the guest to invite them to broadcast studio.
Alright, you smoke these and crap.
Hello, Captain. Captain.
The rest
Woohoo! This is. I need to work out how to invite people. It shows view on YouTube, but it doesn't show me thing. It shows me live on beta, which is a testing the duck. The StreamYards, testing StreamYards.
Why is it not pulling up the rest of my email? Why is it just got the primary? Where the hell is the rest of it? Shit, what the? Oh, man.
I know.
Yes.
Very easy to use, huh, buddy?
No, I had to go through the emails as in the thing because it clicks on the wee as in like invite. It said like something like about clipboards, Captain, and then it says on it as in default or it says Gmail. So what I done was I went in the Gmail box and emailed Jinxie your email address, but hoping that was your email address or no, because I wasn't 100% sure. I thought, well, at least if I try it, I know exactly if I can get it to work or no. Because I know that Hangouts, everybody's saying about Hangouts is now ceased. It's now ceased. It does no longer exist, or is it because it's more commercial use than personal use now? Maybe that's what's changed in Hangouts.
It hasn't changed at all, except for the only thing that's changed is that you can't live stream a group from Hangouts directly. You have to go through another system. You can hold on. You can use Hangouts in conjunction with StreamYard. You can. We did it tonight. We had like 8 people up on the stream, on the panel. So it's possible. You can do it. And then when you do it the way that they did it, Hangouts will function as the live streaming platform as normal.
Right.
As it usually does, But yeah.
Because I know everybody's saying that StreamYard's is beta now, and that's because it's still in the testing process.
Okay.
It's still testing yet, as in with StreamYards. But to actually see, what you've got to do is you've got to broadcast, start the broadcast with StreamYard, and then you put it. It's saying on the page. It's saying live. You are live on YouTube. View on YouTube. But what it's showing me is it's showing me the page for StreamYard. It's not showing me YouTube's page. So I can't see me being broadcasted live. It's telling me it's broadcasting live.
Yeah.
But it's not even bringing up. All you're seeing it is the private chat, which is StreamYard.
Yeah.
So you've got to basically still. It's like exactly the same as the way his Hangouts was, as in you've got to go on Hangouts, and then.
No, I'm aware. I know, Alex. I know, but I'm telling you, what I was trying to tell you is that you can use Hangouts for it still through StreamYard. You can.
All right, through StreamYard.
I don't know how, but you can.
Right. See, it becomes confusing for me, as in because when I'm using the Chromebook, Captain, it's basically saying either stay on Chrome or use the app, as if it's like on a phone, as in use it as an app. So it becomes confusing for me where I've got to stay on Chrome to use it as Chromebook because I'm using a Chromebook, or where I have to do it as change it into like an app thing or not.
I don't know anything about Chrome.
I
know that I use it for a browser, and that's it.
Right.
I don't mess around with it. I just...
Because on Chromebook, it's a Chrome, what they call Chrome OS. Because I was way back months ago, do you remember when YouTube went down, the whole system went down? Well, everybody was blaming it was their equipment that was the problem. So I went out and bought brand new equipment, and then found out it was nothing to do with equipment. It was YouTube's system. It was just YouTube's system that was causing it.
Yeah. It's all flawed. Nothing is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
This is just like everything to do with like the modern technology for YouTube and Google and their freaking systems, it's all either prototypes or a one-off of the original. That's it.
But there's a, for instance, Captain, right? I've just got notification that Hazy Days has done a new live stream on Sunday, and that's 3 days late. 3 days later, I've had a notification saying that it was live on Sunday there.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I get them months later.
It's totally weird.
Yeah, it's retarded. YouTube is stupid.
It's never worked since the day they started it.
Well, when they first started it, nobody had ever freaking conceived of anything quite like it, you know? So, and for the first, year, it was fine. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, it was a little laggy, a little herky-jerky sometimes, but that's because it was a new system.
No.
By 2006, they got bought out by Google, and they were stuffing it full of commercials. That's
right.
where part of their problem is. That's where part of the problem is that they stuff it full of commercials, and they demand that you freaking watch their commercials, or it just sucks. Like if you have ad blocker and stuff like that, that's where problems start popping up.
Mm-hmm.
When those problems pop up, then you kind of reap it at that point, you know?
Because I was watching Oz Arts live stream just there, and I was watching it on the tablet, and I thought, I'm just going to see if I can get this StreamYard working, because I didn't have it signed up or anything. I'd been on panels, but I'd been using it through when they put it through the chat link, and you click on it, and it takes you through, but you can use a screen name, but you don't have to be signed up on StreamYard. And I thought, well, everybody's starting to use StreamYard. I might as well find out where I can use it and use it properly, and how easier it was to actually use it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with StreamYard. It's fine. It's actually very easy.
Because the reason why I couldn't bring anybody up in the live panel was because it kept, every time I clicked the link or tried to send the link out, it would copy it to the clipboard, but I didn't even know where the clipboard was even existed, as in where it actually existed on my actual Chromebook. So I couldn't bring anybody up in a live panel. But this one seems to be a lot easier because it's got a default system, and it's got a default box, and it'll say there's two defaults, and then I can't remember what it said in the default. It was one on one side and one on the other, and then I seen it with the Gmail. I thought, well, I wonder if I hit the Gmail, and actually instead of sending it in the chat box, having to pull YouTube up, as in, because you got to pull one screen, then another screen, then pull a pop-up chat, then mute the live running to take the pop-up chat, and then you've got to start putting in the links, and that becomes more difficult to how you actually put the links in.
When I use StreamYard, I don't have a chat. I don't have a live stream running. I don't keep the live stream box open. I pop up the chat in a different box, yeah, but I don't keep the live stream going in a different box. I don't do that. I close the live stream. Like not the StreamYard. I close the freaking YouTube. I don't have YouTube open except for a chat. Like I'll go to
what I'm trying to say is I'm using StreamYards right now. I'm doing it live, right? So I've got StreamYards open, but I haven't pulled up my YouTube channel to actually take the pop-up chat. So all I've got at the moment is the StreamYards page, the inbox page as in with Gmail, and then at the corner, the other corner of the screen, it says you are live on YouTube, view on YouTube, and it says end broadcast, and all I've got is the StreamYard private chat thing.
Yeah. So, do you have a chat up yet? Like, so you can see what people are saying?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Captain.
What? Well, there's nobody in here right now anyways, just me and you.
I know that's what I was trying to. I didn't want it with 6 and 7 people in it. I just wanted to think and see if I could get it up
I'm
and
not
running.
talking about the panel. I'm talking about in the chat. There's nobody here. It's just me and you.
Because it's on the other channel. It's on the Suzuki Swift channel. It's not on the one that's got 800 odd people. It's only got 60 or 70 people on this one.
Huh?
I'm not using my main chat. I'm not using my main channel. I'm using the other channel.
Yes, I know.
But people keep saying that thing because that channel's low, it's low in subscribers. That's how people can't find us, according to other people.
Okay. Whatever. You do have subscribers, though. They could be watching, but they're not.
Probably because they're watching other live streams now.
Well, they're just simply not watching right now. But anyway, no, I'm glad you're freaking learning the ropes and freaking. You probably know more about this freaking stuff than I do right now. You know about how to go on here because I've only done it once personally.
You've only done it once, Captain.
And I don't even remember how I did it. I just went on and I freaking stayed on there for a little bit and that was it. Captain,
were you on somebody's panel?
No, mine.
You were on yours?
I live streamed with this one time. That's it.
So you've only used it once?
Yes.
And how come you're not using it more than once?
Because I usually don't have people up on my panel.
Is it because you don't want? Is it because you don't want people on your panel, or is it because you're not 100% sure how to do it?
It's because I usually just don't. There's no aversion to it. I usually just don't. You notice that when I'm having a live stream, what am I usually doing?
Working on lighters or something.
Yeah. So if you were working live, do you think you'd want a peanut gallery?
No, exactly. Aye, true, Captain. I never thought about it that way. So, it puts you off concentration.
There's no aversion to me having a live stream panel. I would. I just don't. Because there's no point. I'm working on something. I don't need a bunch of people. Hey, why are you cutting with the saw that way?
I know what you're saying. Everybody tells you what you should be doing, and instead of keeping their mouth shut and saying that you're doing all right at it,
well, no,
you're doing good at it.
That's only people that don't know how to use tools. Okay.
Well, they should keep their mouth shut then when they think me if you're using tools, because obviously you know how to use the tools.
I was on a live stream the other night. It was last night actually, and I was cutting some loops of metal, like some copper loops for some chainmail, and these guys were giving me a hard time about the way I was using my saw. And this one guy was just like, I've never seen anybody use a coping saw like that. And I'm like, this is a jeweler's coping saw.
Exactly, a coping saw is a miniature saw with a miniature blade on it for cutting intricate pieces.
Well, a jeweler's coping saw is, yeah. But the guy who was running the freaking stream decided that he was gonna freaking chime in, and I'm like, you guys have no idea what I'm doing with the tool.
No, they don't, Captain, because half the time you're not using a vise. Now, if that coping saw slips, it'll go right through your fingers.
No, I was using my hand and not a vise. I was using
exactly.
I was holding the piece and I was sawing the piece while holding my fingers, which I do a lot because I work with soft metal, okay, like silver, copper, brass, things like that. So I can't always put something in a vise and then saw on it because it's torquing the metal in two different directions, and the metal is soft. Okay,
I know exactly what you're saying, Captain. I totally understand.
I have soft jaws that I can use, but my fingers are less likely to bend the metal
Exactly.
than the jaws of a freaking vise. You know what I'm saying? So.
Exactly, because if vice will either scratch it up or it'll smash the metal, as in so flat that it's unreal. So you holding it exactly the way you should have been holding it. I've not been on for at least 4 weeks.
When you're holding it and then you put a tool to it, it could bend the metal. Seems like I've had problems like that before, and then I have to straighten the piece out again, and it's not always the same piece when you do that.
But Captain, everybody wants to tell you how you should be doing it instead of letting you get on with it, and they have not a clue what they're talking about.
Yeah, I'm showing people how I'm doing it, and everybody a lot of people want to criticize. Not everybody, but a lot of people do. So that's part of why I don't have a panel when I'm working. But a lot of the time I don't have a panel. Most of the time I don't have a panel anyway, only because like I'm doing a freaking mail call or something. I don't want to be on there forever. It's just a fucking mail call. And I've got enough babble in myself to keep a freaking mail call going for an hour. You know? So I mean, what's the difference?
Sometimes when I ramble on, I'm thinking, is anybody actually listening, or am I just rambling on for the sake of it? Sometimes when I put the videos out, but then I'm starting to try and think, well, what am I going to do with this channel? What direction am I taking it in? Because I've got 3 different projects. I've got 3 other machines as in here to do different jobs, and I'm thinking, what am I actually trying to achieve by doing YouTube in the first place? But sometimes you try and take a topic or something, or some kind of hobby into it to try and make it into a channel that is worth talking about or having topics to talk about.
My YouTube channel doesn't have any kind of point. Not everything has a purpose.
Exactly, Captain. You're right. I can see the point of that. No, because the mail call, when I started doing the mail calls, that was to give something back, because obviously I was buying it. I'm paying for it. They're not giving me it for free. I'm not asking for anything for free. And I'm putting the mail calls out there just basically so to shout out other channels. So it's not as in just sub for sub. Because I've been told about the sub for sub, as in don't do it that way because it doesn't work. It's better to do it as in grow it organically. And that's what I have done since the day I started it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Sub for sub will work. It will. Because some of those people are going to stick around, and some of them will keep coming back. They will. They will keep supporting. No doubt. But to what end? I mean, like a lot of the time, they're not supporting because they want to support. They're supporting because they feel obligated to do so.
Right.
But if that's what's keeping the channel alive, okay, fine. That's what's keeping the channel alive. You know, some people come back and say, "Oh, you know, supporting." It's like, dude, you don't have to support. I'm getting, like, when I give somebody a freaking when I subscribe to somebody, and I'm not going to freaking peruse their channel for content. All I am is a number at that point. I'm not going to be supporting their channel if their freaking content is not interesting to me. I'm not going to go there and just fucking be like, supporting. No, I'm just going to give them a number, and I'm going to go along my merry way, and I'm going to do what I do. See?
So I get you, Captain. I get that. I'm
Yeah.
like that, as in I'll look up a channel because I'm actually going to watch that video, and the only reason I'll put a like to that video is if it's something of interest or something that I've been researching on about that specific topic.
Sometimes. For me, sometimes. I mean, sometimes I share. Most of the time, I don't even bother. If I find something interesting that interests me, I mean, I hang out with a lot of guys that work on tractors and stuff. I watch a lot of videos on metal pouring. Those guys don't care about metal pouring. So for me to share out to all of my tractor wrenching friends, a video about, this guy just poured a freaking an anthill with aluminum. Okay, yeah, sure, that's interesting for a minute, and it's cool. Yes, it's very, very nice. But they would be more interested in where the aluminum came from. Like, hey, he's melting down a bunch of heads for these engines that go to a Kohler motor. That's what they would be, looking at. Like, they would see the raw aluminum ingots that are sitting there and notice that, oh, these are all engine parts from small engines. They're like pistons and stuff like that. Hey, that's a piston to a Briggs & Stratton 2-cylinder engine. Why is he melting them down? I don't see enough damage to warrant scrapping those out. Does that boy have a missing chromosome or something? But hey, whatever, man. Whatever you're into, however you want to freaking use YouTube, go ahead. YouTube's here for everybody, and there's not a lot of strict guidelines to community stuff like that. Depending on which community you get involved with, they might have expectations of how they want you to go to conduct yourself on YouTube. Like, if you enter a community that's about makeup and hair and painting your fingernails and stuff like that, like glamour, they might expect you to be on their freaking YouTube channel constantly throughout the day, and their YouTube and their freaking Instagram and their Twitter and all their other freaking social media platforms. Then again, they might not care.
But Captain, people forget that we've still got a life. We've still got a life, as in we've still got a life outside of YouTube. We can't be on it 24/7, 7 days a week.
But some people don't. Some people really are on their social media constantly, and that's all they do. Like, really? Haven't you noticed? Okay, well, you might not have noticed, but I'm on live streams a lot. I'm on like 10 live streams every week.
Right.
I'm part of the Peanut Gallery. I'm a regular on many different panels. So many, in fact, that I'll see 2 different people whose panels I usually go up on, and I'll have to choose which one I go on. Sometimes there's even 3. And I'm like, oh, wow. Johnny is up, Sunshine is up, and Jimmy C is up. Which one do I go and visit first? Or do I go and visit all 3 of them? Or just 2? What's going on? And usually by the time I've made my decision, like by the time I've gone on to one of them will usually drop off, So.
Aye.
Then there'll only be 2. But sometimes, no, there really is 3. And I'm like, oh my, there's 3 different panels that I could probably sneak up on right now. And usually I go up on Jimmy C pretty frequently. I don't always go up there, but he usually sends me a link anyway. He's just like, Captain, here's a link. Sunshine. Every time Sunshine has her Wednesday stream, she, come get up here right now. She wants me to get up there right away. And when I go see Johnny, sometimes I just stay in the chat or whatever, but he usually sends out a link so I can come up and say hi.
No, because that's what they find it, Captain. That's what they're saying, that live streams are the new thing. It's the new thing. It's the new phase, as in on YouTube, as in doing actual live streaming.
What?
It's like a new thing. It's like a new cult. Live streaming.
Well, I mean, I didn't know if I was going to get into the live streaming or not. You know, I didn't know. I was pretty sure that I was just going to stick to editing videos and stuff. But, well, things have changed in my life. I don't have a very good computer right now. I have a decently strong signal. But I don't have a very good computer. And I had to reformat it. And I didn't reformat it correctly, so it doesn't work right anymore. And that's part of the reason why I'm having some difficulties with running my editing program. And since my old editing program isn't supported anymore, when I reformatted, I lost my editing program, and now I have to use a different one. I could get the other one back, but somebody went out of their way to freaking get this one for me, and I want to learn it anyway because it's got a lot of like really cool effects that you could use, and it's a more involved program that actually works better, and it's a more solid platform. So times are changing, but my economy is not keeping up very well with the changes. So I'm still on this old crappy computer.
Aye, because when you're on benefits, they don't give you a lot of money. They only give you a certain amount to live on. To live on for not even day to day. It's once a month or once a fortnight or whatever, and then you get the bills still to pay and all the rest. It's a lot.
Nope, I don't get much of anything. But I do have friends that freaking, send me certain stuff. Like one friend bought me a editing program, which I thought was awesome. This other guy, he gave me a computer. He mailed it to me.
Right.
And it cost him $100 to mail it. The computer's not even worth $100. He was going to blow it up with, he was just going to go out in his backyard and blow it up with freaking fireworks. Or no, tannerite. He's going to use some tannerite. Tannerite is an explosive they use to blow up stumps. But he was going to go out in the yard and blow it up with tannerite, but he decided, Justin can use it more than I could. So he gave it to me. And now it's sitting here, and it's been freshly reformatted because I saved up my money and I bought a hard drive for it, and I lucked out on a Windows program upgrade, stuff like that, that, so little pieces here and there, but yeah, it's all cobbled together and it doesn't work very well anymore. So, I mean, it works fine, but just not for what I would like to use it for,
I know what you're saying, Captain.
I'm getting a freaking, and it's not like I want my situation here to improve. I want to move out of here.
I know that. You've been saying that for a long time now.
I don't want things to improve here. I don't want to fight battles here, and I don't want to solve problems here. I want to move away. But people, for some reason, like a lot of people don't understand that.
It's like you said about the thing. It's like you said about doing the coin rings. You can't even make a lot of noise It's all right for the neighbours to make a lot of noise, but not you.
Right. Totally.
So at the end of the day, you want to move out so that you don't get the problems, because obviously they
It's
keep.
not even about that, Alex. It's not even just about that. I don't want to live here. Even if I could make all the noise I wanted to, I don't want to live here. I don't. There's nothing keeping me here. I despise everything about this place. You see? You talking about, freaking the neighbors, this and that, freaking one specific issue. I don't even want to solve one problem here. I just want to go. You see? People start dissecting the issues. And it's like, why? Why am I even dissecting the issues? I just want to go. I hate everything about this place. Shall we discuss one at a time, one by one, everything that I hate about it? When I hate everything. I hate absolutely everything about it. So it really doesn't serve any purpose anymore to dissect it myself. I'm like, I'm over it. I'm over all of it. And like, the more I stay here, the angrier I am. People think just getting me out of the house for a night or an afternoon or a few days is, going to take the tension off. I don't need the tension relieved. I need to get the fuck out of here.
Exactly. I get that.
Oh man, people like talk about missing the fucking point.
Anyway. That's how I didn't want to get into it with you. With the thing as you said, we all the wee issues and thing we trying to solve it. There's no point in solving anything at all. You just hate the place and you just want out.
Yeah.
That's it. End of story.
I'll give you a perfect analogy. You ready? This is the perfect analogy. Somebody has a disease, and it's getting increasingly more difficult for the person to live with the symptoms of the disease. But the doctor is unwilling to cure the disease. Let me just let that one sink in for a second. The doctor keeps coming up with alternative lifestyles and, even transportation programs and, different diets and things like that. But they're unwilling to go forward with a cure, even though a cure does exist. They're unwilling to give the patient the cure.
The patient would then end up feel as if the best thing for him to do was to commit suicide or to shoot himself in the head, basically, would be the case.
And you're missing the point. This is an analogy, like a metaphor for my situation, okay? The cure for me is to leave permanently, to move out, okay? I'm using the analogy of somebody's got a disease and the doctor that they're working with is unwilling to cure them.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying about when you said about unwilling, the doctor was unwilling to give the patient, so the patient would then, that would be his answer, his way out.
Hold on, you're stepping out of the freaking the story. Okay, you're stepping out of the metaphor. You're freaking going on to the freaking like the result. Now hold on, I'm not freaking like willing to commit suicide just because I can't move out of my apartment, Alex. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I know it was a bit. It was. Aye.
I'm just saying, freaking. I know people. Okay, I know people that can help me. But they're not. For whatever reason, they're not. Now, the doctor in the metaphor, that doctor is unwilling to cure the patient because he's greedy and he wants to keep freaking like squeezing money out of the freaking patient that he has. Okay, out of all of their patients, and all the patients have different freaking maladies, all of which are easily freaking cured, and the doctor ends up freaking rich. But they end up being a freaking disgraced freaking doctor that seems to not want to fucking like play the doctor game correctly to heal people because they're greedy and they just want money.
I totally get that. Because that's the way the system is.
Yes. But I'm not talking about the system. I'm talking about that's a metaphor for my situation.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I have no idea why. I have a friend right now that actually has the capability of helping me directly, but he won't. He absolutely refuses to do so. I've asked him to help me, and he won't.
And it would help you at the situation that you're in now.
After I asked him the first time, I stopped asking, and I saw him just once in a while he comes over, and you know he'll want to come over and take me out for the night or whatever, and this and that, and freaking what I've observed of this man is that he just wants to be superior to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
He wants the freaking the opportunity to feel bad for somebody else, for somebody to invoke his pity.
It's the same as my situation about my children, and I've worked out for me, I've sat and worked it out, and it's exactly the same situation as you're in now, as in it's all to do with squeezing as much money as they possibly can out it. And I've been fighting for the last 4 years or 5 years to get contact to them, but they turn around and say, and they keep saying, "Oh, it's all about the children need to be ready for the contact." But the thing is, as in, I'm going off topic now. What I was talking about. When I sat and worked it out, I'm like, this is not a case of when the children is ready, but it's all right for them, for like the foster carers to put in for respite and all the rest, and for them to move them. But when it was us moving the kids about, we were told about the consistency and the stability. And I'm thinking, hold on a minute, when they're shifting them, this is all about a case of the money between the authority and the foster carers, because they're getting paid to look after them, plus the authority and a social department's getting their bit as well. So it's the same situation, or it's the same carry on.
Any kind of organization, whether it be DCF here in America or the equivalent over in the UK, that deals with children and how the state demands that you treat your children accordingly or whatever, it's all a form of extortion.
Well, I know that because I've seen it on Ding Me, because I started looking up things on YouTube, and I've seen a lot of things, as in there was things about social work, kidnapping children, and this kind.
There are three absolutes in all forms of strong empires, like the UK, China, Soviet Union, US. There are three forces that are always there, and they're always counterproductive. One is the penal system. It is set up to make money. Nothing else. It's not set up to punish. Keeping people locked up does not punish them. It's irritating. If you have enough money, if you're locked up and your wife, wins a freaking lottery for $10 million, she can have your freaking case brought back to court and get you out with money, which is bullshit. No, this is bullshit, and it's not. Keeping people locked up is not a freaking effective deterrent anyway. We know this. People are still going to commit crimes because.
But look at that politician just did.
Now, you look at the way that certain circles of society, it's a coming of age thing or a rite of passage thing to freaking just end up in prison. And what are you in for? Oh, I stole a car and I shot somebody in the face. Oh, well, what are you in for? I got caught stealing candy. Get the fuck out of it, It's a coming of age thing. It's like a freaking it's a competition for the how big of a scumbag can you be? It's dumb. Number 2, child services. Freaking taking your children away from you, this and that. It's a form of extortion. They want you to capitulate. They want to bully you. They want to control you. Okay? And 3, the welfare system. It's a form of intimidation. It's a form of manipulation. Do what we tell you, or we'll take your money away. Blackmail. It's the same thing all around. It's all about the money. Every single freaking bit of it. And all of those empires have had the same exact thing. The Italian, Rome even had services like that. If they don't like the way that you're handling your freaking family, they'll take your kids away from you. Unbelievably, Rome had programs like that. If you can believe that. If they don't think that you're raising your child correctly, they can take away your kid. Rome.
Did you notice that it's all behind closed
doors? Biggest monsters on the fucking planet. You're fucking complaining about fucking treat.
That's right, Captain. It's all done behind closed doors. It's not actually put in people's faces, as in until they actually see it. That's when they start believing it is true, that it's happening. But because it's done behind closed doors, nobody sees it.
Did you know that there's the fish in Thames are going extinct?
What's that?
The fish.
The fish, right. The fish in the Thames.
They're going extinct.
Why is that?
Because the cocaine content in the water is killing them.
All right.
I'm not even kidding. All of the freaking people that live in that city, that do drugs, the residuals of those drugs eventually freaking get washed into the water somehow. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And Thames, it now has an extremely high cocaine content that is killing the fish.
Where did you find that? Where did you find that all about? As in, was it on the internet or in a paper?
It was on the internet. I read an article about it, and then I actually heard somebody else that was quoting quite a different article from a different source about the same subject. And I was like, okay, wow. And then I saw another interview that quoted a different source that was doing a different study on the same exact problem. And I'm like, dude, this cannot be bullshit. This can't be bullshit. If there's 3 different freaking sources conducting 3 independent studies on this phenomenon, the fish are just freaking dying off in the river because of the cocaine content. This is nuts. And why? Why is there such a high cocaine content in the water? Because there's a freaking epidemic of cocaine use in London.
It's polluting the city. It's polluting the water. Basically, it's polluting the water.
Yep. Certainly. So there's a lot of freaking horse shit going around on the internet. Okay, there is. There's a lot of horse shit, but then they're you're not even looking for it, right? You're not even looking for it. I found one of these freaking sources months ago, probably last year, right? And then earlier this year, it was a few months ago, I found another source. And then, last month, it wasn't this month, it was the beginning of last month, I found another source talking about the same damn thing. Now, You got environmentalists, you know, like, save the whales, save the seals. You know, okay, fine. We saved the whales. And we saved the seals. We did. We didn't save all of them because we can't. But
it takes a lot of public It takes a lot of public notice for something to be done, for something to be done about it. And until that happens, then then it becomes public. It becomes public interest.
okay, me, like people living in Connecticut, there's no one else in America that freaking know more about whaling than Connecticut. If you wanted freaking whale products, Connecticut is the place to come. If you want ambergris to make your freaking perfume, this is where you're going to come and get it. If you want whale blubber for cooking, you know, it's probably coming from Connecticut. Everybody come here to process their whales. This was the whaling capital right here. All right. But anyway, you look at all these freaking activists and stuff, and these Greenpeacers and environmentalists and stuff, and they want to save the whales, they want to save the trees, they want to save the skies so that they don't darken, and have us breathing fresh air and things, and drinking clean water, and able to go out and use public parks and, bathe in the waters without freaking getting a rash and stuff like that. Okay, fine. Cool. Great. Did it ever occur to anybody that freaking, the greatest way to handle environmentalism is to watch the population?
The human population.
Yes. I'm talking about if people really wanted, like these environmentalists, if they really wanted to look after nature, they would be encouraging people to make better choices in their breeding. Like, who are they breeding with, and when are they breeding? Do we really need this many people on the planet? And it becomes a very, very unpopular issue to freaking tell people that, oh, well, you should really freaking think twice about having kids,
I totally get that, Captain, because when we went to school, they tell you about as in the human, what they call the human chain. The bird eats the cat, or the dog kills the cat, and all that carry on, the birds and the butterflies and the bees and all the rest, and how the chain gets eaten, as in the small fish get eaten by the whale and all the rest. And
I'm telling you right now, humans are displacing wildlife, okay? And back in the day, a lot of people were talking about overpopulation, and I agreed. I agreed with them. I thought that would freaking, like, the town that I lived in was overcrowded, and it was. And I didn't even live in a freaking, like, what they would consider an overcrowded city by modern terms, okay? And they still don't consider that city to be overcrowded by modern standards. In fact, they're trying to bolster its freaking population, trying to increase it. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with these people? Why are they trying to increase the metropolitan area population-wise when it's already overcrowded? The traffic's horrendous, dude. Like, I wouldn't expect you to know anything about the traffic situation over in freaking America, but Connecticut has some of the worst traffic. We're the top 10 of the nation
I totally get that, Captain. Because the more you overpopulate it, it's like it's like a it's like basically like a sinking ship with rats in it, and it becomes that overcrowded that it actually overspills. So you end up in another state, basically in another state by the time when it overpopulates.
I'll tell you this. We're displacing nature. People want to build a house, right? Nature just, like, you see a lot where you want to build a house. You know what nature sees? Nature sees itself there. So a deer that comes by will eat leaves and the grasses and things, and the rabbits will do the same, and nature, right? And a deer doesn't have a specific territory. It doesn't have a specific house or yard where it lives. It has a range, kind of, but even then, they people don't understand migration, and how it really works. If you put up a fence and the creatures can't get through, they can't do what they do normally, which is migrate. They go north for the summer and they go south for the winter. In the northern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere, they do the opposite. They go north for the winter, they go north for the summer, and they go south for the winter. Because
That's right. I've seen that quite a lot, Captain. Like the other day, I seen before I come back home, I seen a whole load of crows, but the crows were flying into the wind and they were going round in circles, and basically they were like in a pack formation. But I knew that was time for basically that's nearly migrate, as you said, migration stage, where they're trying to basically trying to get the bairns to basically fly into the wind to go over wherever, as you said, south or north or southeast, where it's warmer.
Yeah, anyway, so people don't realize that they're displacing nature, okay? And only the places where humans don't want to live is where nature ends up being, allowed to survive, because we don't have any freaking, hesitations about taking a patch of grass and building a house on it. Okay. It's a half-acre property and it's got a few trees on it. And the people that buy the property, they want to build a house there. So they buy the property and they build a house. And now deer are still coming into the property. Rabbits still live on the property. And now there's a guy out in the back, laying down poison because he wants to get rid of the rabbits. And there's freaking, the guy's putting up a fence to try to keep the deer out. It's like, well, you did build your house where natural creatures roam around.
Aye, because you built your house on the land that they live, the land that they live on. They don't realise that there's a house there. They'll see the boundary of the house, but they don't actually know that the house actually exists on there, because their normal habitat was there first before the house was built on it in the first place.
Right. But a lot of people would contend that we don't have a right to interrupt the natural flow of, creatures, blah, 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 blah. But what the environmentalists also don't understand is that we are a natural creature. Regardless of whether or not we make T-shirts and, apartments and stuff and freaking automobiles and, whatever. Whatever we do on the planet is natural. Whatever we do, it doesn't matter what it is. Whether or not we have a lighter and we freaking make fuel for it, and then we light the lighter and we, are freaking smoking cigarettes or whatever. Okay, it doesn't matter what we are doing. It's a natural act. All of it. Everything that a human does is natural. 100%. Whether we like it or not, that's also beside the point, because it is still natural. Everything that we do is natural. Everything that nature does, period, is natural. To say that freaking natural norms are not human norms is ridiculous. It's dumb. So when we say, oh, we want to save the animals, well, okay, save the animals then. But you're still putting up car parks, you're still putting up condominiums, and you're still putting up shopping malls.
Can you understand that, Captain? Because I can't. Hula is a skit who is shown. What does that mean?
Huh?
Horta Nagarich is put hula is a skit who is shown. It's obviously Brazilian talk, but I've not got a translation up as in what that actually translates to.
I don't know what that means either.
No, I don't get that one either.
Hang on.
And I'm not going to start kicking people. I'm not going to start kicking people off as in thingy that wants to come in.
Okay.
Because I can decide who comes in the StreamYard or not. But obviously it's playing because I've got it playing live on the YouTube itself.
All right. Well, I just tried to translate it. It's a lighter that was on hand. Okay.
Ah.
This is a lift arm lighter. I just got this today, actually. This is made by the Polo Company.
I've got one of them, but it needs thing, mate. It needs bits. There's bits missing. The top parts there, Captain, but the bottom part and the thing and the spring that goes into the actual spring bit that goes into the flint goes into is missing. It's missing. I've got it somewhere kicking about.
You need to replace this spring and that plug. Right? Is that what you're saying?
No. I would rather go to somebody that can get a hold of the parts, because I can't get a hold of bits for it at all.
I'm asking you. You need to replace this spring here, this screw right here that he keeps the spring in.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to replace that plug.
Mm-hmm. That's missing. The bottom bit's missing, Captain, and the other bit. But I don't smoke. I don't smoke anymore.
I know. I don't either.
What are you going to do with that lighter? Are you going to make it into something or what?
I wanted one. That's pretty much all there was to it. I wanted one of these.
It's an old lighter. It's 19. God knows.
I haven't had one of these in a long time, and I decided it was time for me to have one. So I bought one. Now that I don't smoke anymore, I can have a decent lighter collection without having to frickin' sell it all the time. You have no idea how many times I built up a fucking awesome lighter collection and then I had to sell them because I needed money. And I always end up profiting every single time. So I have no freaking qualms about taking a lighter like this, buying it for I bought it for $10, and then do something cool to it, and then double my money. I have no problem with that. There's no sentimentality to this lighter. It's not it doesn't belong to a relative or to a friend.
I've nearly bought a load of these Zippos. Do you remember the magazine that used to come out with? It was a magazine, and every month you got a different lighter. A guy had them up and Blockhairn one week, as in on the Sunday. but he wanted too much, as in he wanted too much because I wanted to give him, as in for the bulk load, just the whole load of them. It was about maybe, there must have been at least about 15 or 20 of the books, and the lighters happened to be on. The lighters happened to be still on the books, as in the Zippo lighters. We wanted, I think, £10 or £12 a piece, and they usually retail at that, as in they're about, as in trade price of them is about at least 12. I was wanting to give them a wee bit less and bulk buy them at the time because they were Zippo lighters, because they weren't just regular lighters, they had different designs or different things on the fronts of them.
This one I saw on eBay for I believe this was like, hang on, I'll even tell you. I'll go on in right now. I don't remember what I paid for it, but it wasn't much. It was like one of the cheaper ones that was on there, but it was still pretty nice. It turned out to be 21.
Sometimes you can pick them, Captain. Sometimes the old lighters you can pick up in the auctions in the UK as an old 19, because that's 19. That's in the 9. That looks as if it's a 1940s, so a 1940s, 1950s lighter.
This one?
Aye.
20. 20s, 30s.
I mean, what I paid for that lighter as and thing when it's missing a couple of bits. I've got a funny feeling it come in a job lot of stuff.
It's probably like 1935, 1936 right here.
Nice lighter, that. It's in nice condition.
This is Art Deco style.
Mm-hmm.
The chrome is actually in very good shape. Not bad at all. Except for on the bottom, the chrome is missing here on this side. Notice how there's two different tones. There's a silver tone here and a brass tone here. This Polo, made in England, and the cap comes off pretty well. A little tarnished in there. I'm going to clean that up.
That's what's missing that other one. The bottom cap's no there for it. Somebody's took the bottom cap, but what they've done is they've put a job, when they put it in, they put a whole job lot into the auction, and fun enough, there was coins in it, and there was a couple of, what do you call it? There was 22 caliber, what do you call them? For the war, the bullets that go through the machine gun was in it as well, but it was a whole lot. It was like a job lot, and I'd put a bid in for it, or bidded in the auction for it to get the thing, because there was coins actually in the lot, and it was the coins I was more interested in than actually the other bits that was in it. But I had to take the whole lot to get the coins, if you get me.
Well, you got it.
No, but I've not done anything with them, Captain, down there, as in it was for to get UK coins, because I know that the USA, they're saying about they can't get a hold of the UK coins, and they tend to like the UK coins because they were like the old crowns.
Yeah.
UK. That's why I started doing with the Magnus, the microscope, showing them, because obviously they wanted to see different coins, different designs, and whatever else, and the years of them, and how good a condition they were in.
I don't have a lot of UK stuff. I did.
No, I was overwhelmed when you sent me that other stuff. They were in really nice condition, but they'll no be for sale. They're getting kept. The ones I'll use them for examples against them.
All those coins that I sent you are considered to be cull. So that means by me buying them, all I did was save them from the melter. I'm not kidding. That's all it did was save those coins from the melting pot. Somebody was about to freaking send those to scrap. So instead of sending them to scrap, they sold them to me. They decided one more time, let's see if we can freaking make some freaking scrap value on it. So those coins, every single one of them is all scrap value. Okay. If I had more money, if I had better money, I would have been able to buy you better coins, but I don't. I know that you like the coins, yes. That doesn't take away from you liking them, but I'm telling you, there's coins out there that are a lot better condition than that. That's all. I'm just saying. I wish I could have got you better ones.
No, they were really nice. They were really nice. When I seen them, I was overwhelmed with them. I was like that because a lot of them I've managed to get a hold of because I've had to buy stuff off of Lemonhead and all the rest to get good coins. But you're talking about improofs. Do you know what I mean? Captain improof sets and stuff like that. And you're frightened to actually split the coins. But I know for a fact that coins were never produced that way. When they come off of the machine, they come off in a line, as in with 5 pences or whatever, when they actually do them. So they're not actually in a set, and they're not in a set as in when they first start.
No, of course not.
I just don't like busting a set because it's nice to have the set together, as in like 6, because they'll have like a set will have like a $50, a quarter, a 25 cent.
But what you got there, when you have a set, you don't break a set. You don't have to. It's all there for you. You know, all the freaking coins are already there. Mm-hmm. So that's fine, whatever. But when you got like one coin, like the stuff I sent you, when you have just like one or whatever, you know, then you can do whatever you want with it. Like, Alex, you know what I do with my coins when I get them?
You tend to stick. You obviously you probably glue them onto lighters. I've heard you saying about them.
This is a silver $50. It's silver, real silver, right. 1964 Kennedy $50. It's not very shiny right now because I soldered it into this lighter. Here is a bicentennial $50. Okay. Again, soldered into the lighter. Right. I use coins to make stuff because the coins that I get are not worth collecting. They are about to go to the scrap bin. They are about to get recycled into more useful things. Okay. So when I take a dime and I melt it down into a button and then I file that button into a square and freaking hollow out the middle and use it for a cap for something, okay? Now, the reason that I'm doing that is because the dime doesn't have any more value than, you know, what the weight of silver would be, okay? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's not a big deal. Some people think that they're very precious and that all of them are precious and whatever. Okay, fine. Come to the store with me. Come to the store with me. Come to the coin store with me, and I can show you that there are like literally rolls of dimes, that are like very similar to the ones that I showed you, right? But it's a whole roll of dimes, and each one of them costs about $1. Okay. Yep. There you go.
They're a roll of pennies, but they call them. They keep saying they're set. They keep saying they're 1 cents or they're cents. You see on the thing, on the roll itself, it says 50 cent. It says 50 cent, and it says pennies on it. That's what it says on it.
Yeah. But check this out, though. Each dime, silver dime, let's say they're Roosevelt dimes, right? Let's say they're all the same year, 1964, okay? That's the last year that they made silver Roosevelt dimes, okay? After that, they were all clad, right? So you've got a roll of them. That's $50 for a roll because each dime is worth $1, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can take you to the store up the street from me, and the guy that is sitting there smoking a cigarette because he smokes in his shop.
Mm-hmm.
He's sitting there, and you come up to him and say, "I'd like a roll of dimes, please. I'd like a roll of silver dimes, please," and lay a $50 bill on the counter. He'll be like, "What year?" "Oh, I don't know. Does it matter?" "Nope. Here you go. Here's a roll of dimes." And he'll put a roll of random year dimes right on top of the counter for you, and that is your transaction. You just bought $50 worth of dimes. Now you have 50 silver dimes, 50 of them. You've got 50. Okay. Now, if you wanted, you could be like, "Oh, hey, I'm going to need 10 rolls of dimes." And he'll put 10 rolls of dimes on the counter for you. Very likely, he could put 100 rolls of dimes on the counter for you, provided that you pay for them. You probably have as many dimes as you can handle. I'm going to have to buy all of your dimes, all your silver dimes. And he'd be like, "You sure about that?" Like, "I'll sell you every dime in the store if you want." "Yep. All the ones that cost like around $1. "Yep. Well, I've got lots of rolls, so here, I'll show you what I have." And he might even freaking show you that he's got like totes full of rolls of dimes. When they make dimes nowadays, when you look at the numbers of dimes that they're producing, right, you see they make 500 million dimes for a year.
But you know what they're looking for? Do you know what they're looking for, Captain? It's the errors and the varieties. That's what they're after. As in when the machine actually does mistakes and stuff in it.
When they make dimes for a year, let's say we're talking about 2019, right? Those are clad dimes, of course, and let's say that they're making them for everybody to use for the year. Okay, this is how our money is made. All right, chunk, 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 millions of them. Okay, now let's say they produce. They didn't produce a lot last year, but they did this year to make up for it. Okay, so now there's going to be 500 million dimes just chunked out into the freaking population because they only made like 100 million last year. So now this year they're making 500 million, like 500 million dimes, and it's money and it's valid, but like all the freaking dimes, that are like damaged and stuff, they take them out of circulation, and the banks don't care. Let's say that it's so badly worn.
But hold on a minute, Captain. See that there, right? That there is a 50 pence piece.
Yes.
In the book, in the book, it says that coin itself is worth £5. £5 it's worth because of the design on the reverse it.
Okay.
It's not because the thing as in the year or because it's got the Queen's head on it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's got the Queen's head in it, but it's because of the design that's on the back of it.
Yes. I was getting to a point. Now, they produced 500 million dimes this year, and they put them all out into the public. Okay, now you have money in circulation. That was the point. Okay, now even when they produced money in silver, that was the point, was to produce silver coins for people to use as money. Okay, and money certainly meant a lot more back then than it does now. No, that's totally untrue. The value is still just as important. When people look and they see a dime on the freaking sidewalk, now some people might not even see it, but somebody like us, being a numismatist, you would see it. I would see it. Crystal would probably see it before me because she's got a sharp eye. But I'm saying, like, a lot of people would ignore it if they even saw it. They'd just ignore it. They'd be like, yeah, whatever, a dime on the, they wouldn't even freaking acknowledge that there is a dime there. Or they would, but they wouldn't even bother thinking to pick it up because it wouldn't mean anything to them. It's the same thing as it was long ago when there were silver dimes. Some people would just walk right by and a dime wouldn't mean anything to them.
I bet see
even
you
though,
putting them in,
hold on,
even though
it was made out of silver, even though it was made out of silver back then, like back in the 1950s, like let's say it's 52, right? And there's a dime sitting on a freaking sidewalk next to a freaking light post. And people are walking by and a bunch of people miss it. And one guy, he's an affluent businessman, and he's just like, sees something shiny on the ground. And he freaking picks it up. A dime. Cool. And he puts it in his pocket. But he's a rich guy. Does he need the dime? Of course not. So when he walks by a bum, what does he do? Young fellow, go put it on the ponies. And back then, you could make a dime bet on a pony, on a horse. You could. Right. You could go in and freaking put this on the cantilever or whatever, So, but I'm saying money is still money. It doesn't matter what it's made out of or anything like that. So when I tell you that these coins are scrap, it's only because the freaking value of the silver is there. The collector's value is negligible. You can use it as a placeholder until you go and get one of better value somewhere else and then put that in its place. Like, let's say it's a 1934 dime. It'll be a Mercury at that point. It'll be a 1934 Mercury dime, and you take this beat up one that Captain Jerk sends you, and you put that in your book, right? And then time goes on, and you find a 1934 that's in much better condition. So you take.
But Captain, I don't collect them. I buy it and sell. That's what I do as a hobby. I do it as a hobby. I buy phones up. I buy phones that I buy junk. And I fix. I do what you do. I fix them. I do something with them that people think that they're junk.
Well, how about this then? I told you before, if you need something, let me know. Let me know. I'll make a list of whatever you need, and I can send it to you.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even know there was a coin shop near you. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's a coin shop right up the road. It's like I think it's about a mile from here. I would have to get a ride there, of course, because I can't really walk that far. But yeah, I mean, I could walk that far, but that I wouldn't be able to walk back.
No, because I've stopped collecting the new Captain because of the thing. Because I met this last year thing as in down the road. That's where I've been for the last 3 weeks. But I didn't want to say it to anybody because you start telling personal stuff on YouTube and it ends up, it gets broadcasted here, there, and everywhere.
Where were you?
Shropshire. I was away in Shropshire. I was away in Shropshire. I was away in England. I was in England.
Oh.
I had to come back up because I had to get the passport. I had to get a passport because she wanted to go away on holiday in September, and I didn't have a passport. So I done a passport, and I had to go on. I had to come back up here for an interview, as in for the passport, because now they interview you for the passport to make sure who you say you are, and ask you a load of questions now to get a passport to actually obtain one.
You need a passport to go from Scotland to England?
No, you don't need a passport to go to Scotland to England. No, she's gonna away. She's away in September. She's going to Greece.
Oh, Greece. Oh, yes.
So I was like, well, I'll miss you and I'll miss you in September. So I was like, well, I might as well get a passport, but I had to end up going to my solicitor or whatever to go and get somebody that knew me for so long or whatever, for knowing me more than 2 years or whatever, to ding me so that they could check it up. Oh, what a nightmare for just to get a passport.
Huh. Yeah, getting a passport in America is pretty easy. They do a little background check, but it's real. It's actually not terribly fast, but it's not terribly long either. Sometimes there's complications if there's like, oh well, you got some things you gotta clean up on your record and this and that and this and that. Okay, whatever, dude. If you got a bit of a record or whatever, they don't like to give you a passport sometimes. But I mean, a lot of the time, you could go and get a governor's pardon. You can go and get a pardon for your past crimes. Oh, you haven't been in trouble in a long friggin' time. Well, go ask for a pardon. Hey, can I be pardoned of these crimes? Because it's been a long time since this stuff happened. My life has totally changed. I'm a much more like non-criminal person. This and that. I'm not under investigation right now. Can I be pardoned of these crimes? And sometimes they'll pardon you. They'll be like, oh, well, here you go. Your onus abated. There you go. Right.
Right.
They especially if you want to do something silly like change your name. Like let's say you are not well known, but you have a notoriety in your neighborhood or whatever, and you don't want that to come back to bite you because you're a talented artist and or a talented musician, and you want to change your name. Okay, fine. You gotta clear up your background before you can change your name. And let's say you get some like stupid stuff in your past or whatever, and you ask to be pardoned, and they pardon you, and it costs a little bit of money, like a few grand or whatever to get that cleared up. But when they pardon you, then you can go and change your name. You can go and freaking apply for licenses that you couldn't get under your name because you had a record, this and that. And if you're moving out of your area into a different area and start your life over, people, you can have people call you whatever you want to be called. Your name is Alex. You could freaking change your name and be called Steven. Or you could be, Alexandria. I'm just messing around. But you get my meaning, right? Freaking like in America, you can go and do that. I don't know if there's something similar over in the UK where you can freaking go to court and be like, hey, I'm not a troublemaker anymore. I was, and I made some mistakes. Can I be pardoned so I can go and freaking change my name and I could go and freaking start a business that I otherwise couldn't start because that other name's been tainted or whatever. Like let's say, oh, your name is Johnson, and they know, oh, Johnson, don't trust that asshole Johnson. Yeah, he's a motherfucker, that guy. And then freaking, you want to change your names so you can start up a freaking business. You want to be able to freaking, grow crops and have a nice big freaking co-op business, and oh yeah, freaking come and freaking help me raise my crops and you get yours half price, this and that. All you got to do is do your share, do your part, contribute, and you can freaking have crops at half price, or crops at like a quarter of the cost, whatever they would be at cost before they go to market. You pay a quarter of that even. So while everybody else is paying $2 a pound for broccoli, you'd be paying 25 cents, or maybe 50 cents a pound. See what I'm saying? So just covering the freaking the cost of the effort and everything. That's what a co-op is. Let's say you want to start something like that, but you got a bad reputation because you were a thief, or you were a freaking you committed fraud, or you destroyed some public property, and you didn't really have a good name because that guy, he's a troublemaker and he destroys stuff and he's a ruffian, and look at him sleeping in a gutter all freaking drunk, rolling around in his barf. Okay. Well, if you clean up your act and then you want to start a nice business like a co-op later on, where you're going to have to deal with the community and build community trust and community cooperation, it'd be a nice idea to freaking change your name. Oh no, I'm not Johnson. I just look like him. And you don't ever have to admit that you were Johnson. Like when a cop comes along and they're freaking like they want to freaking grill you or something, like for a past crime or something. You don't even have to freaking say anything if you're in public. You're like, if you want to, officers, I'm going to have to ask you to take me downtown so that we can discuss this, or let's go to some place that's not so public, because this is very embarrassing, and I'm not going to continue this line of questioning. I'm not gonna cooperate until we freaking go somewhere where you're not shouting and or making a scene. Because you don't want to admit to the cops right in front of everybody that yes, you were Johnson. So anyway, I'm sorry. Crystal just put some lunch in front of me. Oh.
No, because I didn't even see how you Dizzy's party went or anything, because it dinged me. Because I didn't. It's no that I missed it. I just wasn't on YouTube. I just wasn't on YouTube.
You missed Dizzy's party.
Because I was there the other time when he done the live stream the last time for the hot dog one.
I'll tell you this. This year, for us at least, and from what I can tell for everyone else as well, it was way better than last year. Okay?
Right.
Now, there's a lot of people that came up. A lot of things, were slightly different, like more kids, like way more kids, like freaking just tykes running around in circles, dude. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna get dizzy if I try to freaking follow those kids around. No way. There's not a chance. I can't even freaking just keep it. I can't even keep an eye on them because I'm just gonna go cross-eyed. Jeez, man. They were freaking no. The kids could not sit still, dude. Every kid there had like a dozen sodas in them. I was like, oh my god. Anyway, it was a really good time though.
Good.
I did a little singing. Hazy Days did some singing. He strummed the guitar. So did Drew, Drive Shaft Drew.
I did see a bit of it in the thing when I saw Drive Shaft, and I'm thinking, is that Drive Shaft Drew that was sitting in beside? Because it happened to go, I can't remember what it was, and I clicked on because when I went down to England, I didn't take my laptop, I didn't take tablet. I had no. The only thing I had on me was my phone, and it was a brand new phone that I took for this because it changed over for the Samsung and the Nokia, and the Nokia had YouTube on it, so I ended up running under my real full name, and I happened to look up Hazy Days, but I didn't watch the whole video, and I watched part of it where he was playing on the thing with the guitar, and I seen Drive Shaft Drew in a blue t-shirt, and I'm thinking to myself, is that Drive Shaft Drew that's sitting there or not? And I kept looking at him, and I kept thinking, I'm sure that's Drive Shaft Drew, but I wasn't sure because I watched it was after the replay, so there was no live chat. The live chat had finished.
We had Drive Shaft Drew. We had Angry Dog VW. We had Mike McConkey. We had Joe DIY, of course, and his family. His family was there with his wife, all four of his daughters, and they are a lovely bunch. My goodness, he has a gorgeous family, dude. That is just mind-boggling.
I think that's why I think I got the passport, Captain, because it stopped me coming into USA and a lot of the countries, as in visiting other YouTubers and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Even though I met somebody else, I'm thinking to myself, if I don't have that passport, there's a lot of countries that I wouldn't see, as in, because I've never actually been on a plane. If I go away with her, that's my first time ever going on a plane. And I want to see how I'll be as in going on that plane, where the anxiety will play up or whatever.
Well, we had
people out there, Captain, on YouTube that I'd love to be able to meet.
We had Hazy Days. We also had his wife and his two kids. Let's see who else. 5150 came up, and who else? Oh, David Collins was there again. Yep. King's Disaster Garage did not come up again.
I'll need to watch a lot of the videos, go back a lot of the videos then to watch it.
I was kind of disappointed. But he was cool.
Right, I'll need to go, Captain, because I just came on, as I said, only wanted to test it to see how easy it was to actually do it. Because I kept saying, I need to do a live panel, and the time kept kicking on as in to do a live panel. Kept saying, I'll do it, and never getting done. But this StreamYard, it seems to be a lot easier to actually use than what Hangouts is. We try to put the links out and all the rest. There's about 3 or 4 different parts you've got to put together to try and get it to work.
All of their protocols are still wacky. I don't know. I say that they could actually streamline the process and make it a lot easier for people, but they don't. And part of the reason that they haven't yet is, I know they can. Part of the reason that they haven't yet is because they don't want children to be able to live stream like that.
Right, I see.
They want to be able to freaking have a lot more parental control over it. So,
Right.
which I agree, it is necessary to freaking, keep kids from doing stupid stuff live.
Exactly. True.
Kids are more likely to do some outlandish and foolish things that parents would not, or adults would not.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. So you're taking off? Buddy.
All right, tell me about the notifications. Tell me about the notifications because I've made it a thing so that StreamYard could access my Google account. So it meant then I could put the Google account onto so I could have the YouTube channel because it tells you about the ones that you can use with StreamYard. Because I've just only done it, it's coming up with the email telling me that about the security of Google and all that carry on.
Huh. All right, so you're taking off?
Yep.
All right. I gotta go because I gotta use the restroom anyway.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me up, buddy.
No problem.
Have a good night.